Hi, my name is Chad Toor. I'm going to show you how we used Anthropic's Managed Agents to deploy Deepline into a Slack bot in just a few minutes. So we have an open source repo here, and essentially what we're doing is we're wrapping the Deepline CLI with different agent frameworks so we can see how it works in different environments. Obviously, we implemented the LangGraph Deep Agents framework, which worked very well as well. Now we're making Anthropic Managed Agents the primary, and pretty happy with the implementation here. So the difference in implementation between the two, just out of reference, we have a front end, proxy server so that I can switch the back end in which agent framework is behind that without having to change the application itself, kind of like decoupling the Slack bot from the agent behind it. And that's more just a preference on our end. You could probably just go straight to the managed agent broker as well. But yeah, this is the overall framework. You have the Slack web UI wherever you're accessing the agent from. We have our middleware, which is mostly just letting session management, and then the managed agents in the background. This is a sandbox container that contains all the tools that it needs, plus our CLI. LangGraph, very similar. We kind of couple the deployment of the within Railway. Usually we use Railway for this middle part. You can see how to do that here. And what you end up with is a GTM agent. Here I have an example where I tag the agent. Can you give me Jai's validated phone number? Agent goes through, gets all the different providers, validates and makes sure that it works. Here I said, can you create a Lemlist pane using, let me close this. Do you hide? Perfect. So here I have a couple examples. What I do is I tag the Deepline agent, say can create, sorry, there's a lot of noise in here. And I say create a Lemlist LinkedIn campaign using the message market fit framework for all qualified folks who commented or liked this post. I then verified and said just do 10 people, I think. Here's one that actually went through. I'll went and scraped the engagers, pilots could use crust data to get the real LinkedIn URLs. I guess we already had LinkedIn URLs. Sorry, it's getting email. And so first name, last name, header, email waterfall, and then gives me the top 10 leads, which is what I filtered for. And when I pull up Lemlist, I have the sequence here. And so it decided to do custom messages per user. Generally, I don't love doing that. We'll probably give it a little bit more guidance next time. You can see site engaged. Thanks for connecting. Since really, I don't love this framework, but generally just didn't give it a lot of guidance. And then we have the leads with the visual names, emails, validated emails, deliverable. And yeah, generally the secret sauce is in the back end here. We have our Railway agent, which is really just a middleware. In terms of managed agents, I'm pretty happy with the outcome here. We have the system prompt. We upload all of our tools. So we upload all of our skills on deploy, and then I can see every session. So can you get me Jai's phone number is available, and then you can see the output. It's very easy to debug what's actually happening. I think what I really liked about this session, this deployment, is I can centrally manage everything. Uploading skills are already like natively built in. So we got to essentially like the same outputs that we got to with Cloud Code very quick. So I didn't have to do a ton of like harness engineering and prompt engineering. It kind of just worked because we've already built a lot of this logic in Cloud Code for our Cloud Code CLI interface. And so I think the benefit of just being in the Anthropic ecosystem is pretty crazy. Cost is a lot. So using Opus 4.6 versus what we do in Cloud Code on like our max plan, definitely have to think about cost tuning. If we were to run this production at scale, I would highly recommend going down to like a cheaper model or like Sonnet or something, because I think I burnt through like $20 and just today I was 22 on this API key. I think yesterday I was doing something about 22, and the main use cases are just the things that I'm working on right now. So that's kind of high for what I was doing. Again, I'm just using Slackbot, but it's parsing a lot of LinkedIn posts and content. What expensive would definitely tune cost if I was to deploy this. Cost is where I would spend your time if you're doing managed agents, because it is easy to get it spun up quickly, but then pretty easy to spend a lot of money also. In terms of actual setup, the packaging and like environment management was really solid. So if I go down here, you can swap the particular model. Yeah, so feel free to test it out. This is open source. You can deploy it in a couple seconds. I use Railway for like the middleware. You can probably just skip that part and have Slack hit the Opus. So you could probably have Slack just hit the managed agent environment directly. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, anything you'd want to see here. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Bye.